My name's Carlos, I'm 33 years old, and yeah, I drive for Uber. But what that arrogant passenger had no idea about is that I also own 20 cars running on this very same app. It all started on a rainy Thursday. I had just finished reviewing earnings from my fleet. Business was booming. But for some reason, I missed driving. You see, once upon a time, I was behind the wheel full time. That grind taught me everything I know about this business. And sometimes, I like to jump back in, not because I have to, but because I want to stay grounded. I fired up the app, accepted a ping, and rolled up to the pickup spot. Waiting there was this guy, maybe mid-20s, expensive-looking sneakers, phone glued to his hand, and a look on his face like he'd just smelled something bad. The moment he slid into the back seat, he scoffed. "Man, you're really out here driving? Couldn't be me." He didn't even bother to say hi. I smiled politely. "Good morning." But he wasn't done. "Bro, no offense, but driving people around all day? That's gotta be rough. I swear I'd rather be broke than do this." Then he laughed at his own joke. Inside, yeah, I felt that sting. I'm human, but outwardly, stone cold. "Everyone's got their hustle," I replied, keeping my tone calm. But this dude, oh, he kept going. "Nah, man, for real. You don't got any side hustles? Stocks, crypto, something? You really just drive?" I bit my tongue. If only you knew. But I decided to let him talk. Let him dig that hole nice and deep. Then came the kicker. "You know, my friend's got this drop shipping business. Makes 10 grand a month, easy. You ever thought about doing something like that? I mean, no offense, but this ain't it, bro." I gripped the wheel a little tighter but kept my eyes on the road. I was torn. Should I let him keep thinking I was just a driver? Or should I drop the bomb? But something inside told me, not yet. Timing is everything. I said casually. "That's cool. Dropshipping's interesting." As the ride continued, he kept bragging about his network, his investments, and how he couldn't imagine wasting his time working for someone else. Every other sentence started with, "Bro, imagine." But he had no clue. No clue that every mile we drove, I was making money twice. Once as his driver, and again because one of my cars was out on another trip somewhere else in the city. And that's when my phone dinged. A payout notification. Another driver just completed a trip in one of my vehicles. The irony? The payout was more than what this ride was even worth. I peeked at the rearview mirror and smiled. Oh man, he has no idea what's coming. The ride continued, but the tension in the air was thick. I could tell this guy, Jordan, I caught his name from his phone call, thought he was educating me on life. "See, bro," he said, leaning forward like we were old friends. "You gotta think bigger. Working for apps? Man, that's like bottom of the barrel. No offense, but you'll never get rich driving people around. Gotta be your own boss." I nodded, pretending to absorb every word. "If only you knew." He scrolled through his phone, showing off screenshots of what I can only assume were profits. Dropshipping dashboards, crypto balances, flashy cars he probably rented. "Bro, look at this. Passive income. Money while I sleep. You should really get on this, man." I couldn't help but chuckle. "That's impressive," I said. "How long you been doing it?" 6 months, he bragged. "Already scaling. You gotta hustle smart, not hard. I keep telling people, bro, time is money. But y'all don't listen." Y'all. Cute. Then came the part that really made me pause. He leaned back, kicked his feet slightly under the seat, and sighed dramatically. "It's sad, though. People wasting their lives like this. You seem like a cool dude, but you're stuck. It's not your fault, though. Society brainwashes people to think working is the only way." I almost laughed out loud, but I held back. In that moment, something clicked in my head. Carlos, don't react. Play the long game. Let him feel like the smartest guy in the car. For now. Then, as fate would have it, we hit traffic. A major slowdown, which meant more time, more conversation. "Man, look at this," he groaned. "Another reason I could never do this job. Just sitting in traffic, wasting your life away. I swear this would drive me crazy." I glanced at my second phone mounted on the dash. Another notification, another payout. Car number 7 just finished a trip. $130. While sitting here, stuck in traffic. I couldn't help it. I grinned. Yeah, I said. Traffic sucks sometimes. And then, something happened that changed the entire tone. Jordan noticed the second phone. Yo. Wait. What's that for? Oh, this? I tapped it casually. Just keeping track of some side stuff. Side stuff? He squinted. What kind of side stuff you running? I paused, then smiled. Well, since you're so into passive income, you might appreciate this. I pulled up the fleet management app. The dashboard loaded. 20 active vehicles. Trips, earnings, driver statuses, all live. I tilted the screen so he could see. His eyes widened. Wait, what's that? That, I said calmly, is my fleet. 20 cars, all on this app, running while we sit here. Silence. Complete silence. Jordan leaned forward, mouth slightly open. No way. Wait. Are you serious? I nodded. Dead serious. I watched as the gears in his head turned. The guy who just spent 20 minutes mocking me, suddenly speechless. He blinked. Yo. Wait. You own these? Like, they're yours? Yep, I said, grinning. Every single one. For a moment, Jordan just sat there, blinking. His confidence, gone. His mouth opened like he wanted to say something, but nothing came out. I glanced back at him through the rear view. You good, man? I asked, keeping my tone casual, like this was just an everyday thing. He finally shook his head. Bro. Nah. Wait, hold up. You actually own 20 cars? On Uber? Yep. I tapped the screen again. See this? Car 14 just picked up a trip from the airport. That's another $92 rolling in. Jordan leaned forward, eyes glued to the screen like a kid staring at candy. Yo, this is wild. I thought you were... He paused, trying to find the words. Bro, I swear no disrespect, but like, how? How'd you even do this? I chuckled, letting the silence hang for a second. You want to know the truth? I asked. I started exactly where you see me right now, driving. His eyebrows shot up. No way. I nodded. 5 years ago, man, I lost my job, corporate layoffs, bills piling up. I didn't have a choice. I signed up to drive just to stay afloat. Jordan sat back, listening now. Really listening. I treated it like a business from day one. Didn't just drive. I tracked my expenses, learned the system, figured out which hours made the most money. While other drivers complained about long hours, I was studying. I glanced at him again, and the moment I saved enough, I bought a second car, put another driver in it, then a third, then 5, and now 20. Jordan rubbed his jaw, completely different from the cocky guy who climbed into my car earlier. Bro, that's insane. I didn't even think that was possible. Oh, it's possible, I nodded. But you gotta be willing to do what most people won't. Sacrifice, grind, stack, invest smart. His voice got quiet. Man, I feel dumb. I was over here thinking you were just, driving 'cause you had no choice. I smiled. A lot of people think that. You're not the first. He laughed nervously. Yeah, but, man, this is humbling. I tapped my phone again. Another notification. Car 18, $76 completed trip. That's the thing, Jordan. People think driving is the bottom. But when you play it smart, this little app right here, this is a money machine. He stared at me. Bro, I gotta be honest. I was judging you so hard when I got in this car. I feel like trash now. Nah, I said, shaking my head. You just didn't know better. But now you do. He nodded, thoughtful. Man, I gotta rethink everything. For real. And that's when he asked the question that caught me completely off guard. Yo, would you ever teach someone how to do this? I looked at him through the rearview mirror, and for the first time since he got in, I saw something different in his eyes. Respect. For the first time since Jordan got in my car, he wasn't running his mouth. No more bragging, no more slick comments. Just silence and curiosity. You serious? I asked, glancing back. You want to learn? Dead serious, bro, he said, nodding. I thought I was doing something big with my little drop-shipping hustle. But this is a whole different game. I chuckled. It's a different kind of hustle, yeah. Not flashy, but solid. Real assets, real cash flow. Jordan leaned forward, resting his elbows on his knees. Bro, how does someone even start something like this? Like, I wouldn't even know where to begin. I took a deep breath. First lesson, forget everything TikTok and Instagram told you about passive income. This isn't passive, at least not in the beginning. He nodded quickly. Yeah, makes sense. I continued. When I bought my first extra car, I didn't have a fancy office, no team. I was managing it from my bedroom, interviewing drivers, handling maintenance, customer issues, all of it. Wait, you find the drivers yourself? He asked. Yup, I nodded. Background checks, interviews, contracts. You gotta vet people. You don't just hand over your car to anyone. Trust me, I've learned that the hard way. His eyes widened. Dang, this is sounding serious. It is, I said. But once you get the systems down, you scale, and the money starts compounding. Another ding hit my phone. Car 5, $121 completed trip. I smiled, tilting the phone toward him again. See that? Happens all day. Jordan shook his head, laughing under his breath. Yo, this is wild, man. You really flipped the script on me. I shrugged. People underestimate drivers. They see the surface, but they don't realize some of us are running entire businesses behind the wheel. He sat back, quiet for a second. Man, you ever think about making content about this? Like, teaching people? I smirked. Nah, I'm not really the influencer type. I just stay low, stack my money, and mind my business. But you should, bro. For real. People need to hear this. You'd blow up online, he said. Maybe, I said. But you know what's funny? What? You judged me the second you got in this car. But now you're asking me how to build what I built. Jordan chuckled, shaking his head. Bro, facts. You right. And then almost like clockwork, he pulled out his phone. Yo, would it be cool if I got your number? Like, for real. I'm not trying to be annoying or anything. I want to learn. I stared at him for a second. The same guy who clownishly mocked me 15 minutes ago, now humbly asking for advice. You know what? I said, pulling up my contacts. Yeah, I respect that. He grinned, quickly typing it in. Bet. Yo, I'm serious. I'm gonna hit you up. I'm trying to learn this game. Just remember, I told him, looking dead serious now. This isn't overnight. You gotta be willing to grind, sacrifice, fail. You still want it? Without hesitation, he nodded. 100%. As we pulled closer to his destination, he sat back, shaking his head. Bro, wildest Uber ride I've ever had. I smiled. Yeah, people always think they're just getting a ride. But sometimes, they get a lesson instead. As I pulled up to Jordan's destination, he sat there for a second, hesitant to get out. His entire vibe had shifted. Gone was the cocky, arrogant dude who stepped into my car. Now, he looked humbled, curious, hungry. Before opening the door, he asked, Bro, be real with me. What was the hardest part of getting all this started? I paused, gripping the steering wheel. Honestly, I glanced back at him. Getting people to take me seriously. He frowned. What you mean? When I started, nobody believed in me. Family told me it was dumb to buy a second car. Friends laughed, said I was just a driver trying to play entrepreneur. Even the first bank I approached denied me. Said rideshare wasn't a real business. Damn. Jordan leaned back, processing. But I kept going, I said, because I knew what they didn't. I saw the numbers. I knew this could work if I stayed disciplined. He nodded slowly. Man, that's real. That's inspiring, honestly. I chuckled. Yeah, funny how life works. You got in this car thinking you were going to teach me something. But here we are. He laughed. Bro, facts. I can own that. You humbled me for real. As he opened the door to get out, he turned back. Yo, for real. I'm going to hit you up. I'm trying to learn this game. I nodded. If you're serious, I'll help you. But no shortcuts. You got to be ready for the work. Bet, he said, stepping out. Appreciate you, bro. More than you know. The door shut. I pulled off, shaking my head, smiling. Another reminder. Never judge someone by what you see on the surface. But as I drove away, my phone buzzed. A text. Jordan. Bro, I'm dead serious. Where do I even start? I smiled. Guess we're doing this. I pulled over, sent him a voice note. First step, understand your costs. Car payment, insurance, maintenance, repairs, driver payouts. Know every number down to the penny. This isn't a flex game. This is a margins game. Not 5 minutes later, another text. Jordan. Bet. Give me everything. I'm all in. I chuckled. All right, bro. Let's see if you really bout it. And just like that, the guy who mocked me for being a driver was now asking me to be his mentor. And I got to admit, something about that felt kind of dope. A few days passed. Honestly, I didn't expect Jordan to actually follow up. I'd heard it before. People get hyped in the moment, then disappear when it's time to do the work. But sure enough, my phone buzzed. Jordan. Yo, I ran the numbers like you said, bro. I had no idea how much it actually costs to run a car. This ain't no joke. I smirked. Okay, maybe he's serious after all. We set up a time to meet at a coffee shop. When I pulled up, Jordan was already there. Laptop open, notebook out, face dead serious. Gone was the flashy kid from that first ride. This was someone focused. Yo! He stood up, dapping me up like we'd been boys for years. Bro, thanks for meeting me. For real. No problem, I nodded. Let's get to it. We dove straight in. I broke it all down for him. How to acquire the right car, how to negotiate rates, what kind of insurance he'd need, how to screen drivers, what contracts to use. Everything. The mistake most people make, I explained, is thinking this is passive. It's not. Not at first. You got to build the systems, maintenance schedules, check-ins with drivers, keeping track of mileage, all of it. Jordan nodded, scribbling notes like his life depended on it. Bro, this is insane. I swear I thought it was just buy a car, hand it off, and collect money. I shook my head. Nah, that's how you end up broke, or with your car totaled. He laughed. Yo, this is so different from the online hustle culture I've been watching. This is real business. I nodded. Exactly. This isn't some get-rich-quick scheme. This is a get-rich-slowly but surely grind. Then he asked the question I knew was coming. Bro, real talk. How much you pulling a month? I leaned back. On a good month, net, after all expenses, anywhere between 18K to 24K. His jaw nearly hit the table. Bro, what? Yup, I nodded. But it took years. And I reinvested almost everything in the beginning. I didn't buy dumb stuff. No chains, no watches, no vacations. Every dime went back into scaling. Jordan sat back, stunned. Man, that's... Bro, I swear. I feel like I've been asleep my whole life. I smiled. Most people are, until something wakes them up. Then, without thinking, he said something that really hit me. Bro, I used to clown people who drove Uber. I legit thought y'all were broke. I feel embarrassed, not gonna lie. I shook my head. Nah, don't feel bad. You just didn't know. But now you do. And now, it's on you what you do with it. He nodded. Bro, I'm all in. I'm gonna do this. No more shortcuts. No more fake hustle. I grinned. Good. Welcome to the real game. And right then, I realized something. This wasn't just about me anymore. Maybe this was my chance to help others flip the script too. A few weeks went by, and to my surprise, Jordan stayed locked in. No distractions, no excuses. Every day he'd shoot me texts. Yo, found a used Camry, 2018, 90K miles. Good deal. Insurance company quoted me this. Is that solid? Bro, what's a fair driver split for someone starting out? I'd answer every question, sending him voice notes, forwarding contract templates, and connecting him with my mechanic. One afternoon, my phone buzzed again. This time, a photo. Jordan standing next to a silver Toyota Camry, holding the keys, grinning ear to ear. First one down, bro. Let's go. I grinned. Man, he actually did it. We met up that night for tacos. He pulled up in the Camry, proud like it was a brand new Benz. Yo, he said, jumping out. This feels surreal, bro. Never thought I'd be hyped about a used Camry in my life. I laughed. Welcome to the world of assets over liabilities. Over tacos, we went over the next steps. Now, I told him, you gotta find the right driver. Someone reliable, someone hungry, but trustworthy. Bet, he nodded. Got any tips? Yeah, I said, biting into a taco. Post in driver groups, interview them in person, ask about their past gigs, check their ratings, and most importantly, trust your gut. If something feels off, it is. Got it, he said, scribbling everything down on a napkin. Then, almost hesitantly, he asked, Bro, be real with me. You ever had a bad experience with a driver? I leaned back. Oh man, where do I start? I told him about the guy who vanished with my car for 3 days, only to find it abandoned behind a Walmart, or the driver who racked up $900 in tolls and pretended he didn't know. Jordan's eyes widened. Brew, what? Yeah, I nodded. It's part of the game, but that's why systems matter. Contracts, GPS trackers, regular check-ins, protect your assets. Bro, you really running this like a corporation? He said, shaking his head. Because it is, I replied. People look at Uber like it's just driving, but for me, it's a transportation company. Jordan sat back, soaking it all in. Bro, I feel like I've been lied to my whole life, chasing quick money, trying to look rich, instead of actually getting rich. I nodded. Happens to the best of us. But now, you know better. He raised his soda. Bro, to the fleet life. I clinked mine against his. To the fleet life. And for the first time, I realized something. This wasn't just about me growing anymore. It was about us. 2 months later, Jordan was a completely different person. He secured his first driver, a single mom named Erica who had recently been laid off from her office job. Solid work ethic, great attitude. After her first week driving the Camry, she texted Jordan a thank you message. You have no idea how much this job means to me. Jordan forwarded it to me with the caption, Bro, this feels better than any money I've ever made. I grinned. Now he gets it. We met up again, and this time, Jordan wasn't just asking questions, he was making moves. Yo, he said, pulling out his laptop. I've been running the numbers. After 2 months, the car is already cash flow positive. Bro, I need another one. Think it's too soon? I smirked. That's exactly the question you should be asking. I pulled out my phone, opened my fleet app. See this? I said, showing him my dashboard. 20 cars, and every one of them started the same way. One car, one driver, one step at a time. He leaned over, studying the screen like it was a treasure map. Bro, this is wild. I swear I never thought I'd be inspired by Uber drivers in my life. No disrespect. I laughed. None taken. Then he got quiet for a second. You know what's crazy? He asked, staring off. I used to be that guy who clowned drivers. I really thought y'all were just broke people with no options. Man, I was ignorant as hell. I nodded. A lot of people think that, until they realize the people they're judging might be 10 steps ahead of them. He nodded slowly. Bro, real talk. I tell my friends about you now, about what you built. And every time they're like, nah, that's cap. They don't believe it's possible. Of course they don't, I replied. Because people only believe what fits their little reality. They don't believe until they see it for themselves. Jordan grinned. Want to know the funny part? What? One of the homies who clowned me for even talking about Uber just asked me if he could drive for me. I laughed so hard I nearly choked on my coffee. Ain't that how it always goes? Bro, it's poetic, I swear. I leaned back. Welcome to the other side. Then I got serious for a moment. You ready for the next step? Jordan sat up. Always. What is it? Building the systems, I said. You don't just own cars, you manage people, you solve problems, you keep everything running smooth, and most importantly, you protect your reputation. Happy drivers, happy customers, 5-star ratings, more money. He nodded, dead serious. Bet, I'm locked in. And right then, I realized. The kid who stepped into my car clowning me for being a driver, he wasn't just my student anymore. He was about to become competition. 3 more months passed, and Jordan was officially in the game. Not just in it, thriving. He now had 3 cars running, 3 drivers, 3 streams of income. Every time I checked my phone, he was sending me updates, pictures of payouts, maintenance receipts, even screenshots of 5-star reviews his drivers were getting. "Bro," one of his messages read, "this feels unreal, I swear. I've made more in the past 3 months than I ever did with my dropshipping." I smiled every time. Watching his growth, man, it felt like watching my younger self level up all over again. One afternoon, we met up at a local garage. I was getting one of my own cars serviced, and Jordan pulled in right behind me. Hopped out of his Camry like he owned the whole block. "Yo," he grinned. "Guess who just got approved for car number 4? I laughed, shaking my head. "Bro, you're moving fast." "No slowing down, man," he said. "You told me, stack until it stacks itself." "That's facts," I nodded. As we stood there chatting, something wild happened. A blacked-out Tesla pulled into the lot. Out stepped a dude in designer sneakers, gold chain, and sunglasses, looking familiar. Jordan squinted. "Bro, no way. That's Devin." "Who's Devin?" I asked. "One of my old boys," Jordan explained. "Bro, this dude used to roast me all the time for chasing side hustles. I swore I was wasting time trying to build anything." Devin walked over, looking surprised. "Yo, Jordan, what you doing here, bro?" Jordan grinned. "Oh, just handling fleet business." Devin frowned. "Fleet? What fleet?" Jordan smiled, tilting his head toward the cars. "These, and a couple more running around the city right now." Devin blinked. "Wait, you serious? You doing the Uber thing?" "Yeah," Jordan said proudly. "And guess what? It's working." Devin laughed nervously. "Bro, for real? I thought that was just, like, side money." "Nah," Jordan grinned. "Full business, real money, passive income while I sleep." Devin shifted awkwardly. "Dang, for real. I've been thinking about getting into something like that, too." I couldn't help but jump in. "Funny how it's always dumb until it starts making money, huh?" Devin scratched his head. Yeah. Man, y'all might be onto something." Jordan clapped him on the shoulder. "We been onto something, bro. You were just too busy laughing to notice." Devin forced a laugh, but didn't have much else to say. As he walked off, Jordan turned to me, shaking his head. "Bro, life is wild. 6 months ago, I was sitting in your backseat clowning you. Now dudes like him are looking at me like I got the cheat code." I laughed. "Yeah, welcome to the top of the food chain." Jordan grinned. "Bro, I ain't even started yet." And looking at him, I believed it. 6 months ago, if you told me that the kid who hopped in my car, mocking me for being an Uber driver, would become one of the sharpest entrepreneurs I know, I'd have laughed. But here we were. Jordan had just closed on his 5th car. 5 cars, 5 drivers, fully operational, fully profitable. We were sitting on the rooftop of a cafe overlooking the city. 2 guys, who most people would have written off as just Uber drivers. "Bro," Jordan said, sipping his coffee, "I can't even lie. This has changed my entire life. My mindset, my money, the way I look at everything." I nodded. "Told you. This ain't just about cars. This is about freedom, options." He leaned back, thinking. "You know what's wild? The way I used to look down on this. On you, on drivers in general." I smiled. Most people do, until they realize the real players don't wear suits. They're the ones quietly running the game from behind the scenes. Jordan laughed. "Facts, I swear. If more people knew, they'd stop flexing fake money online and start building something real." I nodded. "Yeah, but here's the truth. Not everyone's built for it. Most people want the reward, but not the work." He tapped his fingers on the table, thinking. "Bro, real question. What made you let me in? Like, after how I acted in your car that day, why didn't you just curve me?" I grinned. "Simple. Because I saw something in you. You were arrogant, but hungry. And sometimes, hunger just needs to be aimed at the right target." He sat back, shaking his head. "Man, you don't even know how grateful I am. You literally changed my life." I chuckled. "Nah, bro. You changed your life. I just showed you the door. You decided to walk through it." He nodded. Still, I owe you. Big time. I smiled, pulling out my phone. You know what you owe me? What? I opened my fleet app. 20 cars still active, notifications coming in every few minutes. You owe me this, I said, turning the screen toward him. To not stop here. Keep building. Teach someone else. Flip the script for the next person who thinks they're stuck. Jordan stared at the screen, then back at me. Bro, say less. I'm on it. Then he raised his coffee cup toward me. To flipping the script. I clinked mine against his. To flipping the script. And as I looked out over the city, I realized something. It's not about where you start. It's about how far you're willing to go. So next time you step into someone's Uber, be careful who you judge. Because the person driving you might just own the road you're riding on. If you found this story inspiring, drop a comment below, hit that like button, and make sure to subscribe. More real-life hustle stories coming your way.